Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. I'm with Joe and we are situated at, as you can see, the corner house.
Right in the corner seat as well.
We are, ironically.
Love this
which
seat.
is, where's this located at? Because this is always a debate, isn't it?
Jesmond. It is officially located in Jesmond. However, because of the way Jesmond is segregated, we are in the Walker side. It's weird. Obviously, if you live over this side of the water and you are anywhere between
Because then you've got Jesmond Park.
Jesmond Park is literally right there, but then you go a little bit further and you're into Wallsend and Walker like that. You're actually into Wallsend quicker than you're into Walker. Look, geography in Newcastle on this side of the water is baffling.
It's mental for geography because
I definitely don't.
But you haven't tuned in to hear us talk about local neighbourhoods, but we are here to talk about the club's model. Because I wanted to bring it up. You might have seen this if you've got eagle eyes on social media. Fabrizio Romano. He has said it is time to go. No, that's not his phrase. What's his phrase, man? Doesn't say that, does he? I'm going like Mario. Anyway,
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
We're getting lynched here.
I know, we have just
Fabrizio's never going to connect with us.
He's been on the channel before.
That's the last time.
Yeah, we have not started this video well. Right, Lloyd Kelly. Romano has said that Juventus have triggered the deal for Lloyd Kelly to go. And I want to bring this up because of the situation of the club's model. It's not the first time. So I'm going to take you back to Elliot Anderson going because we had to because of PSR. We bought Yankuba Minta, if you remember, for 6 point something million. And then we shifted him straight away out on loan to Feyenoord. Absolutely blitzed it. Rinsed the league. And then we sold him for reported 30 million, allegedly, to hit PSR deadlines. Obviously, there's a stack of youngsters being signed for the under 21 at the moment. And obviously, some of them are getting loaned down, some of them aren't. We've already had 2 made official. What are the club doing here in terms of the model? Are they just trying to buy young to stay in touch with PSR? Or is it to hopefully sell them on? Or is it to keep them, enhance them, develop them, or is it a mixture of all three, Joe?
I think it's a mixture of the latter two. And the word I'm going to use, you could kind of say I'm being safe here, but the word I'm going to use is it is long-term investment. Whether you want to look at long-term investment as a monetary value or whether you want to look at long-term investment as a internal value for the squad itself, regardless, it comes down to money. If you find a player right now, one thing, sorry to take this to a game, but a lot of the time when I'm playing your football manager games, I look for youth and I see if their chemistry fits with my squad, because if it does, the chances are they are going to become great in 3 years' time. So I will loan them out for the first year and a half. I will then bring them back when they have gained a bit of ability, and I will then put them into my first squad once or twice, give them some playing time, bring them on, sub them, such like that. I think that in itself is a monetary investment. Would you rather pay under 6 million now for a player or wait 3 years and pay 55 million for them? You'd rather take the risk of under 6 million. I think that's the side they're looking at. They want to bring these players in and potentially go, right, we pay 2.5 for this player. We bring him in, we know he's going to get better, so his value is going to increase. So regardless, we're not making a loss. However, in 2 years' time, he could be world class and he could fit for the first team and we could bring him in. And we've just saved ourselves 65 million. Either way, it is a long-term investment to keep these players about, to develop them, and whether you are going to make money off them. And it's better, let's face it, let's take it back to the Ashley era. It's better to make profit, even if it's small, off a youth player who you barely know than having to sell someone like your Johan Kabais or your Hatton Ben Offers, isn't it?
Well, that's what the club were going in the French market, like even Moussa Sissoko was sold for 30 million, didn't it? So that was the club's model then, but obviously now we do have, I would say we have money to spend this summer. Yes, you might get a right winger, yes, you might get a striker to replace Callum Wilson, whatever, but I still think that the club's model will go after 1 or 2 talents in Europe to try and get them on the cheap, nurture them, possibly sell them. I think Minta is probably one that would have been a success. We've seen him with Brighton this season, scored a couple of goals past her, but we had to sell because of PSR. We don't have that issue anymore this summer. Which leaves me now going back to Lloyd Kelly. Lloyd Kelly was brought in on a free. If you remember last summer, we were like, I get it, he's a free, he's not going to play loads of times, and it was proven, he didn't. But then he went out to Juventus, bizarrely, and like, go on then. We were going to get money at the end of the season if they qualify for Europe. That was the stipulation, and they've qualified for Europe. We've just bagged 20 million.
Love that.
From a player, from free. So my question going back to you, is that a success?
Massively, and it's not based on the price we've sold them for. I have ranted in the NFTV main chat about this. I have ranted about this publicly and everything. His reported wages were £150,000 a week, allegedly. Now, even if they weren't 150,000 and they were 60,000, that is 60,000 you're paying for someone to not even sit on the bench. Why? Why? I'm sorry, but he's not injured. He's available. Why is he not playing? Oh, because he's not good enough. So why is he here? No offence to Lloyd Kelly, obviously, no offence at all. But why is he here? He is a massive hole in the pocket. I'm glad, and I'm totally talking nothing about the player or the person because, frankly, we can't judge on them two, not here at Newcastle. I am talking totally on the monetary value. I am glad to see him go to Juventus because it gets that off our wages. You think if it is £150,000 per week?
I don't think it is, I think that's been exaggerated.
Even so, between 100 and 150,000 a week, think of the players you could bring in on that.
But then again, we've just pocketed 20 million allegedly. So
love that.
So you look at Mint, I had to, but he was bought young. He could have been a success. PSR, we had to sell. Anderson was just different because we had to sell on there. But again, a question going back to this summer, do you see maybe like I wouldn't call it a strange signing, but a squad signing for the potential to sell on again, even though we've got money to spend this summer?
Yeah, the club need to do it. Look, I don't like where football is in that sense right now with the transfer windows and such. You've got to look at players who are going to make money
them because of the ability.
Exactly. You look at Bruno. How much did we pay for Bruno? 39 million.
About 35.
About 35 million. So 35 to 40 million were paid for Bruno. When we eventually come to sell Bruno, I doubt we're going to make that much profit on him because he's probably going to be...
I think he's got a £100 million release clause.
Aye, right now. But what about when he's 31 years old?
I don't mind that. We've gained the money. Do
you know what I mean? Yeah, we've gained the value back.
I think we've gained it back already.
But you look at... Oh, without doubt. But you look at most of our squad right now, and apart from a few names, Tonali, Isak,
your big assets,
your big ones who we don't want to see go, obviously, you're looking at losses in years to come. It's like me with me Murphy video. I know you all hated me Murphy video, but it's the same point. His value now
is the highest it's ever been.
It's only going to go down. It's never going to surpass where it is.
It's at the ceiling.
Yeah, it's hit the ceiling. Do you cash in on that now or not? So yeah, I do think when it comes to the summer, maybe it's not this summer. I think this summer is going to be very much about strengthening the squad, not protecting with finances. I think January and the summer afterwards are going to be about protecting finances and going, right, we never want to be in a position that Chelsea or your Man City's in, where they're looking at potentially facing fines and restrictions. We never want to be there again. We always need to keep ourselves. It's like having that buffer in your bank, isn't it? I never let my bank account go below this amount. Why? That's your safe zone. You only touch that in emergencies. That's what we want to be at. We don't want
my bank accounts.
Need to look at someone's. But I think that's the case. I do think we are still going to look at players and potentially buy them based on if they don't perform for us, can we sell them on? It's necessary in this day and age in football. You need to look at your football club, even as a fan. This isn't just looking at directors and such. Even as a fan, you need to remember one massive factor: football clubs are businesses.
And I think some of them transfers are that. We had to bring Vlachodimos in just to get Anderson off and get some extra money in.
Yep.
So no doubt Vlachodimos the club will try and force. I generally think that the club will try and force him out, which leaves me on to obviously net pure profits. That Sean Longstaff's only got 1 year left, and Newcastle do sell him. It's pure profit. I don't think this transfer window coming up, Newcastle need to go and get that pure profit, whether it's 15 million, whatever. I don't feel in other seasons they might have needed to.
Yeah.
And you could also say the same about one or two homegrown like Lewis Miley. You can get 50 million potentially, but that's never going to happen this stage. I think it needs to develop. But the other thing I want to go back to is if you go back 12 months, we had to sell on PSR deadline day, June 30th. Eddie Howe was asked this: can Newcastle manipulate that and go and get players who other clubs are in that position now, because we're not?
Aye. Well, like it's a no-brainer. Of course we can.
So the club will know that. They would have investigated. They would have scouted. So I don't know. Give us a club. Any club.
Nottingham Forest.
So if we've got Nottingham Forest and they're going to hit PSR, can we go in and get, I don't know, Morgan Gibbs-White or Milenkovic, whoever?
Yeah.
We can go and manipulate and say, he's worth 70 million, but we know you have to sell him. We'll give you 40 million.
I think right now PSR has created another little area of we can get a deal here.
Well, 2 clubs did off us last summer.
You think about when relegation happens. You look at Ipswich right now, and a lot of people are talking about possibly bringing in Delap. Yeah. You'll get him for a good price, and the main reason you'll get him at that good price is because Ipswich are being relegated. They don't have to fight for 60, 70 million for him. They will happily take 30 million because it'll boost them in the Championship. And I think the same thing is happening now with PSR, where it's getting to that deadline day and clubs are going, yeah, we need to sell. We've got this player who's worth 45 million, but we're going to sell him for 25 because someone's coming and offering him 25 million. Take it. And I think that is a massive thing that's starting to come about in the footballing world.
It's like a mini panic deadline day, June 30th.
Literally,
it's not because we had it last summer. Like we had to sell, otherwise we would have had point deduction, and it's mental. So there's a few things, and obviously we know that the 73 million, the 3-year cycle is going to come off. And obviously we've got sponsorship money from the likes of Adidas, etc., Seller, to name a few. So, last question of the day. How much do you think Newcastle have got to spend this summer?
Look, I know everyone's talking about we're going to have 200 million plus and all that sort of business. I think that has been a little bit unrealistic.
It's over the top.
It's over the top. I would love to have 200 million to spend, Lee. I would absolutely love it.
I think it's 100 million net that we can spend. And we've got to sell well.
Yeah, I think if we sell well and you look at the net, I think we're probably going to be able to spend about 150 to 170. However, I think we're selling worth is going to be about 100 to 120. I think that's about the range that we could sell in. However, the money that we spend will not reflect that. And you know some fans are going to be like, well, we're some of these players for 45 million. What happened to that 45 million, mate? That went into the infrastructure. Chill your bean. I think it's one of those where we're going to have it between 100 to 150 million to freely spend. And I hope we spend it smart.
And I said the last question. This one will be, do you think they'll hold anything back just in case they need to reach to January?
Yeah, and that's why I don't think we've got 200 mil. Realistically, do I think we could garner 200 mil to 250 million in the summer to spend? Yeah, I do. With the right selling, of course we can. However, I think the club looks at it and goes, right, what if something happens? What if another Chris Wood happens and we're signing a player who's not quite what we thought he would be for our squad? We need a little bit of a buffer zone, a little bit of a buffer net for January, just in case we need to emergency spend. And then you bring in that whole PSR deadline day side. And if we keep over,
manipulate that.
Yeah, because if we keep over 80 million, say we spend 120 million, and say we do have 200 million to spend, right? We spend 120, we have 80 million left over. That 80 million is kept for January, because then we could get 2 bang up players.
Knockdown prices.
It's
an interesting summer. Look, the fans know that they've got money. There's got to be any excuses. If it comes to September 1st when the window shuts or whatever the date it is, if it falls on a bank holiday or whatever, if the club haven't spent, put it this way, I don't think many of us as a fan base will be pretty happy with that, because we know there's money there.
Yep.
But there's other things that we've talked about. Are they going to go invest across Europe, get them on the cheap, sell them well? They've done that recently with Minter. They've done that. Well, Minter had to be done. They've done that obviously with who was I talking about before? My mind's gone blank. Lloyd Kelly.
Yep.
And I think the likes of Lachadimos, Matt Target probably needs sold. I don't think we'll get loads, but we'll see. We shall see. Give us your thoughts down below of what me and Joe have just discussed there, the whole transfer situation. The policy is the word I'll use. But from us two at the Corner House, we'll see you very soon.